What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Anthony. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video. And on this video, man, we're about to be diving into a full spoiler review. A full spoiler. Repeating on the spoiler review for Dune that just released this weekend. If you have not seen the movie yet, please don't watch this review. Instead, go watch my fresh out of theater reaction. So that's kind of, I guess I would call that like my non-spoiler review because that gives you like my fresh thoughts right out of the theater, coming from the IMAX, watching Dune. Go check out that video, and that's really all you need to hear to know whether or not how much I like this movie. Spoiler alert on that part. I loved Dune. It was incredible. I thought it was amazing, a cinematic experience, unlike anything else I've ever seen in the theater. So go check out that fresh out of theater reaction for Dune, and I'll give you kind of like my non-spoiler review, and then come back and watch this full spoiler review, where I'm going to be getting into some of my favorite things throughout the film, what I liked. And honestly, there wasn't too much that was there anything that I didn't like? I don't think I have anything negative to say about this movie, honestly. So, but with that, I'm about to jump into the spoiler review. So again, go watch that fresh out of theater reaction, and then come back once you see the film and watch this one. So let's dive into Dune, man. Dune 2021. So I wrote down some notes here. I'm gonna try not to ramble as much as I normally do, because man, I can fucking ramble. I know it's a problem that I got. I can't help it. So I'm gonna try to stay organized and on topic throughout this one. So I figured what I'd do is just kind of hit on like four main areas. So like the performances, the visuals, the audio, and then just in general the story, and then kind of talk about some of my favorite things throughout those, so you guys get an idea of what I really liked about this movie, and then also what some of my favorite scenes were throughout the film. So I thought that'd be kind of a fun and interesting way to discuss the movie, talk about it, while at the same time kind of reviewing it as well. So let's dive in. So off the top, performances were outstanding, man. These performances, and I'm pulling up a list of the cast right now, but these performances were exactly what they needed to be. Incredible. They were fantastic. Straight out the bat, I really like Timothy Chalamet as Paul Atreides. Playing this young prince who's just not sure if he can live up to his father's shoes, and then of course his father ends up dying, so now he's forced to take on that mantle, because he asked him the question before, earlier in the film, when Paul was like, man, I don't know if I want to be a leader, or if I can be a leader, be as good as you. And then his father's like, hey, what makes a great leader is whether they answer the call when it's time. And now he has to answer that call. His father passed away, and now he's got his his insignia on the ring. He's got his ring, so now he has to answer that call and step up and be that leader, to inevitably go against the Baron and the Emperor, really, because it's the Emperor that betrayed the whole house of Atreides. So I feel like inevitably he's gonna have to fight them as well. I guess I should preface this by saying this review is coming from a newbie to the Dune franchise. I don't know shit about Dune. All I know is that I tried watching the 80s film years ago. I would say maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Someone told me about the 80s film. And I tried watching it. I don't know how far into it I got, but I couldn't do it. I just couldn't get into it. And so I don't really know. As a result, I don't know anything about Dune. I don't know the source material. I don't know the book. I don't know any of the miniseries from TV, other movies. I don't know nothing. So this is coming from a fresh, new person, to this story, and so my perspectives are all from that angle. And as a newbie, I love the film, and I never knew where things were going. So I didn't know that Paul was gonna have Paul's father was gonna die. The Big Papa Atreides was gonna pass away, and I didn't know any of that stuff. So, but performances, fantastic, man. Not knowing the story, I thought that Zendaya would be in the movie a lot more, because all the advertisements feature her, and it makes sense because obviously she's a main part of the overall story of Dune, right? She's a part of the overall story, and you see, of course, you see her all the time in the visions. Obviously, she's gonna play a very important role in part 2 of Dune. I don't know what that is, and to be honest, I don't. And I was thinking about this. Do I want to go and like maybe read the book before the next movie, or just try to like stay away from everything so I can go in? Because it's kind of cool going to these movies with these fresh eyes, not knowing what's going to happen. And I kind of feel like I want to try to keep it that way, but I don't know. But obviously, she seems very important to the story, so she's featured a lot in the trailers. But it's just funny because I thought that she would have more of a role in the movie, right? Beyond just being in the visions. And I mean, they only officially encountered each other for like what, like fucking 5 minutes at the end. And she, barely had any lines of dialogue, but she's all over the trailer. So I just thought it was funny, but it makes sense. You got to use the star power. She's in a lot of films right now. She's, yeah, becoming a very good actress, in a lot of the, big films these days. So it makes sense. Rebecca Ferguson, great as Lady Jessica. I guess it's actually one issue I did have with the movie, and that was for some reason, and I don't know. I need to watch this movie again, like at home on HBO Max, and I don't know if it's my IMAX. I feel like it was my IMAX though, 'cause my IMAX was fucking loud as shit. I could hear everything else fine, but sometimes when Rebecca Ferguson's character would speak, I couldn't hear what she was saying. Like her delivery of a lot of lines was like super soft, and again, it could be the mix of my IMAX being a little off, but I feel like it wasn't because everything else sounded fucking great. But a lot of times I couldn't understand what she was saying. I was like, what the fuck is she saying? Because she'd be like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like that. I'd be like, I need fucking closed captions on this bitch right now because I can't tell what she's saying. So I need to go back and maybe watch it on my TV to see if if it makes a difference, or if that's just how the movie is mixed. I don't know, but that's one downside to Lady Jessica's characters. Sometimes I couldn't hear what she was saying because she was like whispering it, and I guess it just maybe wasn't coming through good in IMAX. Jason Momoa as Duncan was awesome. I really liked his character, and the heroic final stand that he took. Fucking Paul knew once he saw him go in the hallway, he's like, oh shit, this is where he dies. But he had to protect his new lord. His the new king, the new head of the House Atreides. The new Duke, and so he made that final heroic stand. But I really like Duncan's character and the mentorship they provided for Paul. That was good, and I think Jason Momoa played that perfectly. That type of character I think fits him perfectly. Dude, Oscar Isaac is the head of House Atreides, man. His name was it Leto? I don't remember them saying that name ever in the film, but that's what I'm reading here as his character's name. And he looked fucking clean as head of House Atreides, man. And that's one thing I really liked about the movie. And maybe I'll dive into it more in the visuals. But like the outfits and the wardrobes was fucking fly as hell, man. Like every character had that drip. You know what I'm saying? Every character was looking clean. And I thought Oscar Isaac looked especially good. With the with his look, with the beard and the fucking clean ass wears that he had. I was feeling his character, man. This shit was clean. Of course, he's a great actor, and he has some good like kind of like fatherly moments. I really liked the scene where he had to poison the Baron. I think that character's called the Baron. The ugly, disgusting, gluttonous, fucking Harkonnen dude. And I'm sorry if I pronounced some of the house names wrong, stuff like that. Like I don't know like the spelling and things like that. I haven't looked anything up, so I might pronounce some shit wrong. I think in my fresh out of theater review, I think I called it Arachnus instead of Arrakis. Honest mistake from a newbie, man, to this franchise. But fuck, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, yeah, I think it was called the Baron, but when he had to poison him, I thought that was a great scene, and I think Oscar Isaac played the fuck out of that. I don't know if he was paralyzed or what, but he was laying there and he had like the tears come down his face as he was trying to like make him get a little bit closer so he could poison him. That was a beautiful performance. And then we got Stellan Skarsgård as the head Harkonnen dude, the Baron, whatever you want to call him. Fucking ugly, disgusting dude, man. Man, they had him just looking nasty, man. Every time he came on screen, I'm just like, oh, like he just looks wrong. And then the way he moved, like he floated. I don't know if it's a thing on the back makes him float. I don't know what it was, but the way he just floated, it just looked weird, man. It made you uncomfortable, which I'm sure was the intention. So I think that him playing that character was great. And this kind of some like minor ones like Dave Bautista, playing that badass Harkonnen dude. I'm going to assume that he'll have more of a presence in Dune Part Two, because I feel like he didn't do as much. Of course, he was there and around, but I think it's definitely apparent that he's going to have a lot more to do in Dune Part Two, especially with the Baron trying to recover, and he's going to be out there, I guess, like kind of leading the charge, trying to kill all the Fremen and everything. So I'm sure in Dune Part Two he have more of a presence, but the little bit he had, it was great. Same thing with Josh Brolin as that head of security guy. Some great moments there. I really like the moment where is it called Fremen? I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. When when they showed up and the dude spit and fucking Josh Brolin's character's about to fucking cut his head off, and they're like, oh whoa, that's an honorary custom. Like, chill. That was good. Yes, all around performances were outstanding. Obviously, we knew off the top that the cast was great, and they delivered these performances, man. Some great, beautiful, just genuine performances from all of the cast. That was performances, man, fantastic. Next, we'll get into the visuals. Off the top, I think kind of everyone already knew, but I didn't know it was gonna be this beautiful. But the visuals are just, they're awe, like they're jaw dropping. The spectacle, the grandness, the wide shots, the wide sweeping shots of the landscape, and then the real intimate close-ups to show off like a technology or an intimate emotional moment. The movie is just beautifully shot. The effects were incredible, man. Like everything looks so real and believable. Like they fucking transported to what was the year? Like 10,191. Like they fucking found a time machine, went up there, and then went to this planet and then filmed shit on locations. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like, because it felt so believable and so real, man. Like and I'm sure it's a combination of Denis' shots and then the actual visual effects team, crafting everything together and blending it so well, because it looks so good. And just some of the things that some of my favorite parts from the visuals. I made just a couple notes here to kind of talk about some of these scenes. One of my favorite shots, and I literally kept thinking about it in my mind because I loved it so much, was when, I don't know what the group is called, but whatever that group that Lady Jessica's a part of, that like Reverend Mother group, that secret group that runs shit in the background, like some Illuminati shit or something. When they came to Caladan to see Paul, those shots of like them like landing and coming in the rain, and then when they were exiting and the ship was taking off, that whole sequence of shots, including when she was interrogating, I don't know what to call it, interrogating or whatever, testing Paul in that room, those sequence shots were beautiful, man. Like that rain and that ship, and then seeing it coming in and seeing it going and the wind blowing, and just beautiful shots, man. Like those segments of clips, I really like the coloration of it as well, the grade of it. Man, those sequence shots were played in my mind all the time. Some other just beautiful shots that were playing in my mind quite a bit. Was the attack on the base, especially when this is a shot I think it's in the trailer, when it does that kind of more wide shot and the ship's like shooting out all these fucking missiles and like blowing shit up. That looked beautiful. And then also when that big ship like collapsed and exploded, and it lights up the Atreides army as they were approaching. Another beautiful shot. That whole sequence attacking the base, amazing. And then some of the like sweeping shots when they first get to Arrakis, and it's showing that big town. I'm not really sure what to call it, town, base, whatever. Like some of those sweeping shots, and seeing the detail of like how they had like sand sitting in different pockets of the corners at the top of the buildings. That attention to detail, and the wind was blowing, and you actually saw like the spice and the sand like dusting off of the fucking top of the buildings. Incredible, man. Just that attention to detail was just beautiful, and that added to the realism and the believability of the visuals. Of course, that shot, man, when we got our first look at the worm, and he came up and gobbled up that harvester, and fucking Paul is hanging off the edge, and Josh Brolin's character is holding him up, and you just get that wide angle shot of them looking down at this massive fucking worm swallowing this harvester, letting you know just the scale of it, and just how intimidating that was. That was just incredible, man. And then kind of talking about I want to dive into like in terms of visuals, a lot of the technology, man. Like some of the way that some of the ships look and the technology of it was so fucking cool and so believable, man. Like that Dragonfly ship, I'm sure that shit can't. It obviously it ain't practical, but it looked super practical, right? Like man, it looks like somebody can go make that shit right now and fly it. You know what I'm saying? Like it was super believable. The controls like looked like everything had a purpose. You know, a lot of times you watch these sci-fi movies and they're just fucking clicking shit, hitting switches, but the way they designed the technology, like it looks so believable. Like it looked like he's actually hitting shit and it's like doing stuff, and he's actually maneuvering and doing techniques of the piloting skills. Like all the technology just seems so real and so believable from like a futuristic perspective. Like the way that light followed them around, like a a moving light instead of like some stationary lighting. Excuse me. Incredible. I love the way the ships look. I really like. I don't. And now, like I said, I'm a newbie, right? That thing that was in space that they were like going through, is that like a wormhole like type thing? Like that's like a bridge between space time, and that's what they were going in and coming out of to get to Arrakis. I'm going to assume that's what that was, and that shit looked really cool. The ships obviously looked not, and I'm talking about like the big ships, like the ones that were landing and actually dropping off, like Atreides people, and especially the ship that the Reverend Mother came on. That was a beautiful looking ship as well. Just some really just interesting, unique and creative and somewhat believable designs when it came to all the science fiction-y vehicles and technology. The way the shield work was dope. I love some of the visual aspects of how they fought in the shield, and how it looked and how they moved. Like I love the way some of that looked and some of that worked. And I know I'm probably missing some things here, man, because there's so many beautiful things in this movie, so many great shots. Like when the woman was standing up there, ready to ride the worm, that was a great shot. And of course, she ends up getting killed, which really sucked. I was super disappointed because I actually was starting to like her character, even though she, probably could have helped the Atreides and she didn't. But yeah, but I'm sure I'm missing a ton of other shots that I really liked, visual wise. Oh, real quick, I just remember something. I'm reading through my notes. I forgot to mention in the performances. There's one scene that I really liked, and that was when Paul and his mom were in that tent, and and he's having like those visions because the spice is like brushing him in his nose. I really like how they did a lot of those close-up shots when the spice was, flowing and how it affected Paul. I love when they did those close-ups. Um, and and he's like pissed because he's like he doesn't understand what he's supposed to do, what he's supposed to be, how he's supposed to use these abilities or powers or whatever. And he's like pissed, and he tells his mom, use the voice, get off of me. Like, it was just cool to see that used within that emotional moment, along with the performance. That's just a great scene. I actually like that scene. Jumping back to the visuals, of course, the wardrobe. I love the way the wardrobe looked. I thought it looked clean as fuck. Everyone was looking everyone had that drip, man. That's the best way I could put it. Like everyone was looking so fucking clean, and I was like, damn, like yo, this is who people need to cosplay right here, because this shit is actually pretty hard, visual wise. But yeah, costume and wardrobe, fantastic. I thought it looked so good. Believable, but not not weird. Like people like to go futuristic and they get fucking weird. In this one, it felt a lot more believable and a lot more practical. I really liked the way all the costumes were designed. The steel suit, the way that dress and the face decorations that Lady Jessica was wearing when they arrived in Arrakis. I liked all the wardrobe decisions. I thought it complemented the visuals of the environment and the elegance of everything, the vehicles, everything complemented each other so fucking good, man. But that's it for visuals. Let's go into the audio, because the score was fucking hitting. Hans Zimmer's a beast. We already know that. He's one of the GOATs. And the score was just hitting, man. That you know what I'm saying? Like that shit. I don't know, man. This gives you this weird feeling, like when hype moments are happening, you got the fucking drums going, like it gives you that futuristic feeling, gives you that science fiction feeling, it evokes all of that whole vibe within the music, which is the point, right, of the composition. So I really like the soundtrack, really like the score. Also the audio in general, like the way the vehicle sounded, the way the worm sounded, the voice, man, that shit was tight, dude. Like, what did he say? Like, give me the water. You know what I'm saying? Or hand me the water. Like, the audio for the voice was so fucking dope. and hearing it in the IMAX and the way it just like kind of boomed through the room was so fucking great. The IMAX, I think, took the audio of everything to the next fucking level. Like that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all got to see this movie in IMAX. I'm telling you, it's worth the ticket price. Even if you've already seen it on HBO Max, go watch that shit in the IMAX. I'm telling you, you have an even crazier experience. You might even like the movie even more because it adds to the whole experience of the film. Having that audio and visual and IMAX experience. But the audio is great for everything. The explosions, that scene when they had the I don't know what they call him, like a priest dude, but he's kind of like, I guess, like prepping the army and doing like the throat singing, getting that one, I don't know what that faction or that house was called, but they were getting that armor ready and dudes doing the throat singing. That was an incredible scene. I love the audio of that scene. Also, that area is just beautiful with that rain and them getting like the stuff from that pool of blood or whatever, and like marking the army, and they're like doing their ritual, their rites before battle. Like that was a fantastic scene, beautiful scene, and that audio, the throat singing, and everything else was incredible. But yeah, overall audio was fantastic, and especially in the IMAX, you got to see it there because the audio was fucking hitting, and it sounded amazing. So audio, incredible. Story. As someone who doesn't know story at all, I loved it. I was on that journey. You know what I'm saying? I was right next to Paul Atreides and, figuring out, as he's figuring out, what the fuck is going on, what's happening, where do we go from here, how do we grow, can we handle this, can we do this? Yes, we can do this. We can make it. We can step up to the plate, and we could be the leader. We could rebuild the house Atreides. But yes, the story was super engaging. I know the casual audience probably gonna think that's super slow, and I think that's fair. It is a slower film. But to me, it's slow, but it never loses. It never like loses your interest. You know what I'm saying? Like it always keeps you interested, whether it be through the visuals, the audio, or how the story's progressing, or a twist or a turn. I feel like it always, especially for me, because I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like it always kept me wondering what's next. Right? I'm already new to this world. I'm getting sucked and pulled in. I'm like, wow, like this is incredible. Like, what is this all about? What is this spice? What? Look at these vehicles. Like, oh, how does that work? How does the shield thing work? Seeing them use the film book things with the projection holographics. Like, how does that work? Seeing all that stuff like kept me pulled in and engaged. There's always something on the screen that just had my attention, even if it seems like nothing was going on. There was always something going on, whether it was through the audio storytelling or the visual storytelling, or the dialogue, or whatever the case may be. Like that, there was always something on the screen that kept my attention. The technology, the wardrobe, the battles, the betrayals, the heartfelt, emotional moments, the spectacle, the sweeping shots of the landscape and the environment. Everything about this like kept me interested and engaged. And obviously it's a part one, so it's not the full story, which is super disappointing, man. That's one thing. Like I said in my other fresh out of theater reaction, I'm super disappointed we're not going to get part two like very soon after this. Like they need to fucking get on it, man, because this movie deserves a part two. And it seems like I think they already said they're going to do one, but who knows when it's going to start production and how long it's going to take for us to get it. That's why I think it's such a big mistake and a huge disappointment for them not to have filmed these movies back to back, because now we gotta wait and it sucks. Oh yeah, and but yeah, the story was incredible, man. Like I want to know more. I think I said in my fresh out of theater reaction, this movie made me want to learn or read the book about this, because I'm like, damn, this seems super interesting. And I want to know more. I want to learn more about how this spice works, how it like boosts certain things. I want to learn more about these other houses and how they came to be and who this emperor is. Like I want to learn all that stuff. I assume we'll learn more in part two, and I'm looking forward to it. I think the story is incredible. I think it's a great journey. Talking about all the different things, right? Like all the political drama. Like I think about like some of the political stuff in like the Star Wars prequels. That unfortunately the way those were told was it executed greatly, but reminds me of that. But it's not as, I guess, intense in the theatrics of it. You know what I'm saying? I think you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, story was super engaging. Got me interested, and I want to see the complete story. And it sucks I can't really see that to part two, because this shit literally ends on a cliffhanger when he's walking to the Fremen base, and that's where it ends. Now we gotta wait for part two, and it's funny because when the shit starts, literally says Dune. It says Dune Part One. I was like, damn, like yeah, they're really like this. Denis was like, I'm letting you know this shit is Part One. So when this shit ends the way it does, that you know that it's not because like, oh, I fucked up or something. It's literally because this is Part One, and we need a Part Two to this to really be able to tell and give the story. You know, it's proper due diligence. But yeah, man, that's pretty much everything. That covers everything. I guess like spoiler review wise, again, I thought the movie was incredible. Worth an IMAX ticket price. Please do go check this out in the theater. Um, but I'm curious to hear what y'all thought. I think that it's definitely gonna be one of my top favorite movies of this year. I need to watch it again on HBO Max. Maybe I even might go to the theater again. But this movie is it's grand. It's a spectacle. I might even call it a masterpiece. And honestly, I want once Part Two comes out, I would love to watch these as like a double feature back to back in the IMAX. That would be amazing if they did something like that. Um, but yeah, this movie has it all, man, and I love it. It's amazing, man. And I haven't been rating movies on this channel or anything, but if I did rate it, it'd get the fucking highest score. Like this is beautiful cinema, man. This is what the cinema is all about. Pulling you into a world, into a fantasy world, and it being believable enough to be relatable and everything else, and getting lost in it and getting absorbed in the story and the characters and the the music and everything. And being a part of that world. It's funny, the IMAX, whenever it starts at the AMC, it has a little thing that says watch a movie or be in one. Like that shit is like perfect for Dune, because in Dune you're in that shit. The way that's filmed, you are in Dune, and it's amazing, man. Like wow, this movie's jaw dropping. But that's what I think, man. Dune. Uh, have okay, so if you've seen it, what did you think? And also, did you watch anything or did you read the books before? Did you know the source material before? Because I think that also, I'm also curious to see like how that plays into how people view this movie. Like, do the people who know the books or other things very well like it a lot? And if you don't know the stuff well, do you like it a lot? And it's just a science fiction film in general. What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's really good? Think it's bad? And then what do you say? What are some of your favorite parts of the film? And then, hey, when do y'all think part two is coming, man? I feel like it's gonna be a ways off, but when do y'all think we'll get it? Uh, and then yeah, let's just discuss in the comments, man. Let's talk about Dune. I fucking love this movie. I'm ready to talk about it some more. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I missed, but you drop some of your favorite scenes and whatnot down in the comments, and I love to discuss it with y'all. If you watched the entirety of this video, thanks so much for tuning into the whole video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all that stuff, share it. And again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.